Coming up on this Wednesday edition of Daybreak, President Park Geun-hye receives a warm royal welcome from Queen Elizabeth and Prince Phillip as she kicks off her state visit to Britain. A British daily reports London has been using high-tech equipment to spy on its ally Germany. Berlin is demanding an explanation. Plus, a date for international talks to end the Syrian conflict hasn't been set yet. The UN Arab League envoy says he hopes the meeting, attended by the Syrian government and the opposition, will take place before the end of the year. Daybreak begins now.
You're watching Daybreak on Wednesday, November 6th. I'm Choi in Seoul. President Park Geun-hye began her state visit to Britain with a royal welcome by Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. Our presidential office correspondent Oh Jin-ju is traveling with the president for this report.
President Park's state visit officially started on Tuesday with a welcoming ceremony at the Horse Guards Parade in central London. She joined Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip in a state carriage procession to Buckingham Palace, where she will be staying during her state visit. Taking into account that Britain only invites leaders from as many as 2 countries a year, the presidential office of Choi says President Park's state visit reflects the close ties that bind Korea and Britain. The royal treatment President Park received on the first day is known to have been exceptional. Queen Elizabeth personally selected a present for the Korean president, and even the wine and food that is being served at the state dinner with President Park, which is currently taking place at the palace. President Park also attended a groundbreaking ceremony for a Korean War veterans memorial with Prince William. She said the memorial will represent the 2 nations' special ties and develop relationship, and added the construction comes at a meaningful time as 2013 marks the 60th anniversary of the Korean War armistice and 130th anniversary of diplomatic ties between Korea and Britain. President Park also met with around 100 British lawmakers of the upper and lower chambers of the British Parliament and emphasized that the 2 countries should merge their technology and culture to create a new engine for growth. She also said the South Korean government will have patience in persuading North Korea to abandon its nuclear program and become a responsible member of the international community, even if it takes time. On Wednesday, President Park is scheduled to hold bilateral talks with British Prime Minister David Cameron, in which cooperation in the sectors of the creative economy and finance will likely top the agenda. The 2 countries will also sign a number of MOUs in these fields during President Park's stay here in Britain. Oh Jin-ju, Arirang News, London.
Korea, China, and Japan will meet for talks in Seoul this Thursday to discuss ways to bolster cooperation among the 3 countries. The annual meeting, which is the 8th of its kind, has been one of the main channels of communication between the 3 countries. Thursday's gathering will be the first trilateral meeting under the Park Geun-hye administration. The 3 parties will discuss the possibility of having another 3-way summit before the year's end and other items of mutual interest. The summit had initially been scheduled for May, but was scrapped due to diplomatic tensions over territorial and historical issues between Beijing and Tokyo and between Seoul and Tokyo. Korea's finance minister has once again urged lawmakers to quickly pass pending bills initiated by the government to boost the economy. In a meeting with the ruling Saenuri Party lawmakers on Tuesday, Hyun Woo-seok said it was important for the government and the parliament to work together when the local economy is showing signs of recovery. Out of 100 bills pending at the National Assembly aimed at bolstering the overall economy, the meeting focused on 15, which are intended to boost investment, the housing market, and support for startups. For the first time in the nation's constitutional history, the government has filed a petition calling for the disbandment of a political party. The party in question is the Unified Progressive Party, whose members were recently arrested on charges of plotting to topple the government. Park Ji-won tells us how the final decision will be made by the Constitutional Court in the next 6 months.
This is the first time the government has moved to disband an existing political party. Cabinet ministers approved a motion to disband the Unified Progressive Party on Tuesday morning, accusing it of promoting North Korean ideology and attempting to overthrow the Korean government.
The ministry found that the Unified Progressive Party's doctrine, its political goals and main activities violate the constitutional democratic order.
The Justice Ministry has been reviewing the motion for 2 months after lawmaker Lee Seok-gi and other 3 members from the minor leftist opposition party were arrested on charges of plotting to topple the government and blow up major facilities such as communication centers and oil storage tanks in the event of a war with North Korea. The plan was devised in conjunction with members of a secret organization called the Revolutionary Organization. With the disbandment motion passing the cabinet, the Justice Ministry took the case to the Constitutional Court at around noon on Tuesday. The court has the final say about whether political parties in Korea can be disbanded. It will decide whether the party's political goals and activities are in line with the democratic order as laid out in the Constitution. To pass, the motion must win the approval of 6 of the court's 9 judges. If the motion goes through, the party's assets will be transferred to the government and the party will be banned from launching a new party in its place. The Unified Progressive Party has denounced the motion's passage as a revival of the nation's dark dictatorial past.
This is not only an act of persecution against our party organization. This also constitutes an act of destruction against democracy.
While the ruling Saenuri Party welcomed the move, characterizing it as an unavoidable decision necessary to protect the national order, the main opposition Democratic Party said it is concerned that the government motion was processed too hastily without a thorough review of public opinion. Park Ji-won, Arirang News.
Prosecutors have summoned Moon Jae-in, a former presidential candidate for the main opposition Democratic Party, for questioning about a scandal surrounding the 2007 Inter-Korean Summit. Moon was the chief of staff to the late President Roh Moo-hyun and has been named as a key figure in the case. He is expected to appear at the prosecutor's office on Wednesday afternoon. The summit transcript became a major issue last year when the ruling party accused President Roh of conceding the northern limit line during his summit with then North Korean leader Kim Jong-il. The NLL is the de facto maritime border between the 2 Koreas in the West Sea. The transcript was later discovered misplaced from the National Archives.
If you want the latest news from Korea and around the world.
Return to the negotiations.
President Park Geun-hye, given the current circumstances.
On your way to work or at home.
Defense Ministry. The legislature will convene a...
Tune into Daybreak on Arirang TV.
Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said Tuesday. Germany has summoned the British ambassador to discuss a recent news report that said the British embassy in Berlin was used as a covered spying station. Citing leaked U.S. National Security Agency documents, the independent newspaper reported the embassy may house a, quote, top-secret listening post. The German government is furious and says any such activity would be against international law. The British embassy is located close to the German parliament and Chancellor Angela Merkel's office and is said to have high-tech equipment mounted on the roof. A spokesperson for British Prime Minister David Cameron said he had not spoken to the German Chancellor about the report and there were no plans for a conversation. The spokesperson wouldn't comment on specifics but stressed Britain's intelligence services operate within the law. According to another report, Korea was also a target of U.S. spying by the National Security Agency. Seoul is demanding an explanation from Washington. Our Kim Hyun-bin reports.
The NSA has been eavesdropping on its friends and foes for years, collecting data to get an edge on its opponents. And South Korea is no exception.
After the New York Times report on November 2nd, the Korean government requested that the U.S. provide a detailed explanation and take appropriate measures. We are currently waiting for their reply.
The New York Times reported recently that the NSA began monitoring the South Korean government starting in January of 2007, late in the administration of Roh Moo-hyun, through the administration of Lee Myung-bak. Seoul was considered a target for 4 reasons: diplomatic policy, intelligence, strategy, and the U.S. military bases stationed in Korea. The Times said that NSA officers operated out of overseas military bases and American missions abroad. Even UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon was a target of U.S. intelligence gathering. Ban was at the White House in April for a routine exchange to discuss a range of issues, including Syrian chemical weapons and the Israeli-Palestinian peace talks. The Times reports that NSA intercepted Ban's talking points in advance of the meeting, which could have given the American president an edge in the discussions between the two. Kim Hyun-bin, Arirang News.
U.S. Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel has stressed the continued threats posed by North Korea and Iran mean it's essential the U.S. sustains its strong military power. Speaking at a forum in Washington on Tuesday, Hagel said real threats remain from non-transparent and heavily armed nations such as North Korea and Iran. Hagel admitted the country is financially and physically worn out after over a decade of war and stressed its military force should only be applied after all diplomatic efforts are exhausted. Hagel's comments come before the Pentagon faces the automated spending reductions mandated by Congress. The Pentagon will have its budget cut by an extra $500 billion over the next 10 years. It looks like international talks to end the Syrian conflict will not take place anytime soon. On Tuesday, multilateral efforts to announce the date for the so-called Geneva II talks, which were tentatively set for middle of this month, fell through. Following meetings with diplomats from the U.S., Russia, and several other nations in Geneva, the UN Arab League envoy for Syria, Lakhdar Brahimi, said he hoped to see peace talks take place before the end of this year. The envoy plans to hold further discussions with U.S. and Russian officials on November 25th. The Syrian opposition doesn't want either President Bashar al-Assad or Iran taking part in talks for the transitional government. The U.S. and Russia are also divided over several issues. Electronic giants here in Korea are pulling the curtains up on curved screen smartphones, which are seen as a stepping stone for the creation of flexible gadgets that can be folded like paper. Yurian reports.
This is the world's very first smartphone with the curved display, unveiled by Samsung Electronics last month. The curve is possible as the screen is made of plastic instead of glass. Now its domestic rival LG Electronics this week unveiled its very own curved screen smartphone as well. But unlike Samsung, the battery in LG's latest smartphone is also curved, taking the process one step closer to a fully flexible smartphone.
We have applied the curved design on this smartphone. It's a smartphone that can create new user experiences and provides a new direction in the evolution of smartphones.
Apple and Google are also rumored to be working on smartphones with curved screens, as well as smartwatches that bend around the wrist, which are set to hit the market next year. Aside from the wow factor, what sets a curved smartphone apart from the rest of the pack? While LG says its screens are unbreakable, while Samsung says a curved screen provides more viewing space within the same footprint. But experts say laying out curved smartphones has a separate purpose all its own.
The curved smartphones strongly signal the fact that Samsung Electronics and LG Electronics are leading the global smartphone industry. It will still take 2 to 3 years for a genuine form of flexible smartphone to come out.
That's because the companies need to make all the parts of the smartphone bendable, not just the screen and the battery. But step by step, the tech giants are showing progress, leaving gadget lovers wondering which company will be the one to unveil the world's first fully flexible smartphone. Yurian, Arirang News.
From the bright crimson leaves of Mount Halla to the golden fields of the Yeongnam Alps, Korea's diverse landscape is at its peak during the autumn season. Our Polly gives us a tour of the scenic sights and sounds across the country.
Here on Korea's southern coast of Jeju Island lies the highest mountain on the peninsula, where maple trees have blanketed the countryside with their bright red leaves. Mount Halla, famous for its natural beauty, is comprised of some 1,800 kinds of plants, flowers, and trees. The easy hiking trails have attracted many families from across the country as they enjoy their last taste of the autumn season before winter weather conditions take grip.
The foliage is hitting its peak at just the right time. The weather is so nice, and watching the leaves change color is the best part of visiting here.
As we move into Korea's central regions, the maple trees show a lighter shade of crimson amid the cool fall breezes. These beautiful sights along Mount Gaedong in South Chuncheong province are home to some of the nation's most spiritual and cultural-rich areas. Hikers from home and abroad are eager to take in the majestic scenery around Donghaksa Temple, Korea's first and oldest institute for female monks.
Donghaksa really has amazing leaves. Watching them fall feels great and makes people around you break out in laughter. We want to come here again with our families. Let's go!
Those looking for brighter and more open spaces can head southwest to the Yeongnam Alps in South Gyeongsang province. The iconic Skyreach Trail located here is a 30-kilometer path spanning across 9 mountain ridges, offering hikers a breathtaking view of the open plains covered in silver grass and golden fields.
There's a bit of slope, so it takes some effort going up, but it's worth it since the leaves and fields look so beautiful from up here. The colors are pretty and it's great being here.
Autumn will soon come to an end, but it's not too late to soak in the brilliant colors and take a leisurely stroll through the changing seasons. Paul Yi, Arirang News.
And a good Wednesday morning to you all as we kick things off on the ice. Now, figure queen Kim Yeon-ah, who's still recovering from her foot injury, has her return competition set as her agency revealed that she has signed up for the Golden Spin of Zagreb. With the competition taking place in Croatia from December 5th to the 8th, the 23-year-old has decided on the competition as a stepping stone until the upcoming 2014 Sochi Winter Games. Now, Kim Yeon-ah is set to showcase her new short program, Send in the Clowns, and her free program, Adios No Niño. Of course, with the event less than a month away now, fans wonder if she'll be healthy in time for the competition. And moving over to the majors, with the Stove League heating up, the question of where Chu Shin-soo will end up is still a mystery. But the Cincinnati Reds did offer the South Korean slugger a qualifying offer, which makes things quite interesting now. With the Reds giving the slugger a $14.1 million qualifying offer, Chu now has until next Monday to decide whether or not he'll accept it. While it's likely that he'll reject the offer, instead go after a multi-year contract with another team, the team he signs with must give up a draft pick in next year's amateur draft. While the New York Mets are looking to be the likely destination so far, the Houston Astros have also joined the race to sign one of the top leadoff hitters in the league. And speaking of races, the race for the #1 ranking in the LPGA continues to heat up as Park Geun-hye holds on to her title for the 30th straight week. And with 3 more events left in the calendar year, Park Geun-hye now has 11.97 points compared to Suzanne Petterson, who has 11.26 points, increasing her lead by 0.71. While Petterson is scheduled to compete in all 3 of the competitions left in the season, Park Geun-hye might only compete in the last 2 competitions, including the CME Group title holders. And moving on, the WK League might not be getting a lot of attention here in the nation, but after a huge controversy, it's getting a ton of attention for all the wrong reasons. Now, 6 of the WK League teams have come out stating that they will boycott the season if the league does not ban Park Geun-hye of Seoul City Hall. Now, Park Geun-hye, who's having an amazing season so far, has long been at a center of controversy, with many questioning her sex. Now, Seoul City Hall officials stated that the remarks are ridiculous and won't let it affect her playing time. And now finishing things off with some Tuesday night KBL action, as we had one game that took place last night. So with that said, let's take a look at the Changwon LG Sakers take on Incheon Itilan Elephants. Of course, going into the game here, a very close game here, starting off with both teams tied 18-18 after the first quarter, before Kim Young-hwan lights it up with 12 points in the second quarter as LG takes a comfortable 42-30 lead going into halftime. Incheon trying to get it close, but it's Ki Sung-ho this time, adding 11 points in the third quarter, and Kim Shi-dae contributing 10 of his 13 points in the fourth quarter as LG breezes through 80-68. And with all that said, that is going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day, and see you guys again for your sports needs.
Happy Wednesday morning to you. I'm Lee Ji-hyun with your latest weather forecast. Well, our weather has been fairly nice lately. There has been really much to talk about, but we have to get set for a few changes. Today is shaping up to be a rather cool and cloudy day, and there could be possibly a few showers nationwide, and that could bring down the temperatures a bit lower than yesterday, as our daytime highs will be soaring into mid to upper teens likely. And clouds will linger throughout the day across the nation, so it's gonna be a mostly to partly cloudy day. Well, tomorrow is a big day for most high school seniors, and it does unfortunately look like some rain will be around for the day of college entrance exam. Showers will break out early in the morning here in the central region, along with thunder and lightning, and the level of dust particles could be very high tomorrow, so examinees and all the other folks might want to wear a face mask on the way to either work or to the test site. And tomorrow's early showers will all let up as we head into the afternoon, and the morning lows will be warmer, but afternoon highs won't be that much different from today. So with that in mind, it's time to take a look at the readings for today. The afternoon high in Seoul will make it to 14 degrees Celsius. In Daegu and Gwangju will get up to 18, while Busan will see a high of 21. And it looks like Jeju will reach in 20 in the afternoon under partly cloudy skies, and Daejeon and Dokdo will top out at 16 and 17 respectively, and Mount Keungang will make it to 8. Now that's Korea for you, and here's the global forecast for viewers around the globe. That's all for me at this hour. Enjoy your morning commute and hope you have a wonderful day.
And those are the stories we have for you this hour. Thank you for watching.